ask yourself this. What do you want to be like in the next 20 to 50 years? Do you want to be able to travel easily, enjoy your favorite hobby, or maybe even learn a new one? Do you want to be able to get on the floor and play with your grandkids, or maybe even great-grandkids someday? Do you want to be able to load and carry your groceries by yourself, or be riddled with pain, unable to move well, depend on others to help you with basic daily functions, and have your life revolve around medical appointments? This is the difference between just sheer lifespan or longevity and actual quality of life or health span. The number of years you spend healthy and able to enjoy life versus just simply existing in misery. We are not living longer, we are dying longer. And guess what? You have the ability to design your future self, and we'll talk about what you can do to increase your health span in just a moment. But I'll be honest, this takes intentionality and discipline, and most people flat out will not execute on this. You've probably heard sayings like, it's not the number of years in your life, but the amount of life in your years. Or, if you don't make time for your wellness, you will be forced to make time for your illness later. And I can tell you, as a practicing geriatric physical therapist after 22 years, this is absolute truth. I've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly. And when I say ugly, I actually mean I've seen heartbreaking situations of functional decline that I know didn't really have to happen. I've had plenty of folks in their 90s who function and feel way better than some people in their 60s and 70s. My own grandfather, who we call Pappy, is a great example. He is almost 98 and he still walks without an assistive device, performs all of his what we call ADLs, or activities of daily living, by himself, and he even still drives short distances in his small town. Pappy was a basketball star in his youth, but he didn't rely on his glory days to sustain his mobility throughout his lifetime. He has been a farmer and rancher and truly has spent a lifetime in motion. In all seriousness, he told his 3 sons, my dad being one of them, he said, just so you know, boys, my plan is to retire when I'm 100. And in a world where it seems like pulling teeth for some people to work, he never wanted it to end. He also enjoyed dancing, and he even sang in his church choir up until a few years ago. I think there's some wisdom that we can take from all of that. Conversely, something that always breaks my heart is when I have patients tell me they just don't want to be here anymore, like on earth. They'll say things like, why is God keeping me here? I'm miserable. I'm of no use to anyone anymore. I've lived my life. It's time for me to go. Usually they are just worn out and weary. Oftentimes they're experiencing a lot of pain and they just feel like a burden to their families. So how do we take control of our own futures? The way I see it, we have 2 buckets that predict our future self. 1 is chronic disease, and 2 is our functional mobility. Separately, they can have big impacts, either positive or negatively. But in combination, they are the secret sauce to which path we will take into our golden years. All right, let's start with chronic disease. And I'm talking hypertension, type 2 diabetes, obesity, cancer, Alzheimer's dementia, neurodegenerative diseases such as Parkinson's, autoimmune diseases, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, COPD, and so on. We know these conditions can be prevented and in some cases even reversed, but it requires dedicated attention to the pillars of exercise, nutrition, sleep, and stress management. Keeping chronic disease at bay is a major piece of the quality of life equation and something that we do have massive agency over. Considering that 60% of Americans have at least one chronic disease and 40% of us have two or more, I don't think we're doing a real good job with this, y'all. And you can check out our series on combating chronic disease to take a deeper dive. And the second huge bucket to aging powerfully is functional mobility. Look, a body in motion stays in motion, to paraphrase Newton's law. And there's a reason someone way smarter than me said this, because it's spot on. I've seen patients across all levels of mobility and immobility, and there's just no denying that those who stay active throughout their lives just do better. Are there exceptions to this? Of course, there always are. But the people who can safely maintain as much independence as possible for as long as possible live a much better quality of life. Now, combine that high level of functional mobility with zero to minimal chronic disease, and you have the secret sauce to a person who is aging powerfully and probably going to enjoy their golden years. That's who I want to be when I grow up. So how do we begin? No matter your age or stage, the beauty of the human body is that we can always make impactful changes that transform us. So you should feel a great sense of hope in that. I believe that gradually implementing sustainable habits that move you toward improved health is the key. Think progress over perfection, because perfect is not sustainable. I like to aim for the 80-20 rule. 80% of the time, I like to think I'm making good choices in the buckets of exercise and nutrition, sleep, and stress management. And 20% of the time, I just fall short. I just do, and I accept it. Like most things in life, it's truly about consistency. And I am rooting you on to be a champion for your own healthy future. Thank you for joining me today. And if you found Healthful Connections here, please like, subscribe, and share with a friend or loved one.